Hello and welcome back. What we're going to be doing for this art project is combining uh, artwork inspired by Lois Mailou Jones, who is a famous artist, and West Africa symbols that are called Adinkra symbols. And we're going to be using all the coloring techniques we've discussed and reviewed. Now, instead of me talking, I found this really great, colorful presentation that I really liked from another art teacher. So let's stop and watch it. It won't take us long.
This is Lois Mailou Jones. She was raised in Boston, Massachusetts by working class parents who emphasized hard work and education. When she graduated from Boston's School of the Museum of Fine Arts, she began designing textiles for firms in New York City. In 1928, she moved to Sedalia, North Carolina, and she founded the art department at the Palmer Memorial Institute. Within 2 years, her students' exhibitions attracted the attention of people at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and she joined the Howard University faculty in 1930. Lois Mailou Jones traveled to Paris to further study art for a year. While she was there, she painted landscapes and street scenes using traditional French techniques. She loved the freedom she found there from racial prejudice, and she spent many summers in France. Through much of her career, Lois Mailou Jones's art reflected influences from Africa and Haiti. She was also influenced by the Harlem Renaissance. These paintings tell the stories of African Americans who, through years of sacrifice, have established a heritage built on their trials and tribulations. They display pride in their accomplishments and achievements through their journey from Africa to America, and as they began to fight to reach artistic and intellectual heights. In 1953, she married artist Louis Pierre Noel of Haiti and started painting portraits and landscapes in brighter colors with more expressionistic style. African influences reemerged in Lois Mailou Jones's art in the 1960s and 70s, especially after two extensive research tours of Africa. Her paintings became bold, abstract, and African design elements were dominant. Throughout her life, Lois Mailou Jones continued to produce exciting new art. She traveled to France and experimented with the Impressionist style that started her career in Paris. But her landscapes were painted with a wider color palette from her Haitian and African influences. She served on Howard University's faculty for 47 years, and in 1998, she passed away at the age of 92. Let's create artwork inspired by Lois Mailou Jones using bold colors, shapes, and patterns that we saw in her artwork.
So I'm going to hit rewind here just a little bit. And I wanted you to see that even in this piece of artwork, there are blends and solid color application. And we've talked about these color techniques before. So our objective is going to be to create a piece of art inspired by Lois Miller Jones and the Adinkra symbols from West Africa using all the coloring techniques we've discussed and reviewed. Now, of course, you at home can start to use some of the other art materials maybe you have besides color pencils, besides markers. You can start to use, if those of you at home have paint or oil pastels or whatever other supplies you really like. Our big thought is, how can the arts inspire positive action? Why are good observation skills important in all parts of life? Well, Lois Maylor Jones had to use those good observation skills when she was doing her research in West Africa or all around Africa. So the Adinkra symbols are from Ghana, which is right here on Africa. I have been able to visit Africa. I was very, very excited. It was before the pandemic. I got to visit family and friends in Morocco, and I just fell in love. I just love the culture. I've been to Paris, I'm going to be honest, when I was younger, and it was very nice. It was very pretty, but I really was inspired by Africa, Morocco, and all of the traditions and beautiful artwork. Okay. So again, we are talking about Africa. Lois Mailou Jones visited all different parts of Africa, and we are going to be incorporating Adinkra symbols, and so you are going to have to research a little bit for this project, which is why I have 1 period to research, 1 period to draw, and probably 3 to 4 periods to really do your color and blend. That gives you 5 to 6 periods, a total of 5 hours of artwork. So this is a pretty big project. Now, how to research images for Lois Mailou Jones. Go to your Google, type in her name, and put inspired art, and you will be able to see all of some different things from her pieces of art. You'll also start to notice there are some of the Adinkra symbols in her artwork as well. So she definitely probably visited parts of West Africa or even Ghana, maybe. Now, after you have researched that, you should probably then click on Google and type in the Adinkra symbols. Now, I will attach a resource page to your Teams page that has these symbols in their meanings. But to be honest with you, there are 122 of them. The page that I give you isn't going to list all of them and their meanings. These West African symbols from Ghana have very positive messages. They use them a lot for storytelling. So you can see how they're very simplified. So let's go back to what we are trying to create here, which is a full piece of artwork using bold colors, shapes, and patterns.
Work. You will need a sheet of paper, something to draw with, and something to add color.
Now, remember, I ask you to draw in pencil first, and color, you are going to probably use lots of different materials.
We're going to divide up our paper in 5 or 6 sections. So start by drawing a horizontal line somewhere on your paper. Add a vertical line to create another section. Continue adding lines where you want to create more sections.
Now, you have to have 5 to 6 sections. They don't have to be exactly in this direction. You can break up your page any way you want. All right. Diagonal lines, vertical lines, and horizontal lines. So the next step then would be to use your handout, and I'm going to rewind a little bit, and start to draw some of the Adinkra symbols and some of the images that you have found from Lois Mailou Jones. And remember, I will be attaching to your Teams page a handout on the Adinkra symbols. You must incorporate blends, solid color application. And on here, I don't think this person used many fades, okay? So you can do a fade, all right? But I want you to really spend a lot of time with this and have fun, all right? Draw big, all right? You do not and probably do not want to use these exact symbols and patterns that this finished example is. Come up with your own based off of your research and based off of, you know, our objective, which is some of the things that you've seen in Lois Mailou Jones and West African symbols. All right. So, what did we do today? I explained Lois Mailou Jones. We took a little look at her artwork, which is pretty interesting and beautiful with bold colors, shapes, and patterns. We did a little bit of Adinkra symbols. We talked a little bit about Africa. All right, I'm going to move this over. Oh, no, it won't let me move over. So I'm just going to shrink it. Okay. Our big thought: how can the arts inspire positive action? And why are good observation skills important in all parts of life? And think, Lois Maylor Jones had to really use good observation skills with her research. So do you. And one period to do your research, one period to draw, and at least 3 to 4 periods to color is going to give you about 5 hours for this assignment. And this assignment is going to be worth 50 points when you have to have at least 5 to 6 sections. All right, I want you to have fun with this. Have a great day and stay healthy and warm.